see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Harrison Arns, the ones and twos. Not welcome back. Welcome to Raff's Good Take on Sports. Like we rejoined the intro, but nonetheless, we got Chris Raff joining us as always. If you guys want to join in, Starter Heyman text line always open to you, 402-464-5685. Always a great way to put a face to the voice, and especially since we're streaming only anyways. We got college hoops on the brick and mortar. Chris Raff, how's it going on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday here in Lincoln? We got up to 76.
Man, I wish I lived in Nebraska. It was only 57 here today. I mean, you guys have a heat wave, and meanwhile, I'm just trying to struggle through with this 57, 58 degree stuff. But I think tomorrow we get up to mid 70s. So
That's what they're saying, that Nebraska is the new California. So you're missing out on all the good weather. Ever since you moved, Raff, it's been nothing but sunshine.
That's what happens, I guess. I guess I was the dark cloud that was over the state. I mean,
Look at what Nebraska basketball is doing now. I mean, once you left, it's just been
maybe that's what was needed. I guess that's what was needed. But now the football team would just have. But I was already gone for the football team, and they didn't really prove me wrong. So
yeah, I think what we'll do is send Jeff your way, Jeff Essink. He might be the cause of the football curse. So you and Jeff can hang out in Alabama, and if that doesn't work, then we'll have to start really pulling for names again and figure out who's causing all these losses.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was a good luck charm. I mean, but I don't know what happened. I think what happened was I think I made some deals to get Nebraska national championships, and they got those national championships. I remember saying, I remember this vividly in December 31st, 1994, saying on the beach in Miami, if Nebraska could win Tom Osborne a national championship, I would not care what happened the rest of my life in Nebraska football. I would be fine, long as they got a title for Coach Osborne.
Oh, Raff, what have you done to me?
But then they ended up getting 2 more. So I thought nobody listened. So I was like, okay, we're good. But I don't know. Maybe the pact came to fruition. So I'm going through my 30 years of misery now. So, but they didn't
tell you about the interest rate on the back end of that deal, Raff. That's what we're paying for now, is all the interest.
So. But would you take it?
No.
You would not.
I would never curse my future grandchildren with a deal like that.
But I mean, for Coach Osborne to get a national championship, and they said you could win one title for Coach Osborne. However, the rest of your life, you're not going to win a title. I think I would take it. I mean, I think if that offer would have came with John Elway back in '97, if they said John Elway is going to win a Super Bowl, however, the Broncos will not win another Super Bowl the rest of your life, I think I would take it. I would take the deal.
That's crazy, Raff. If you told me that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams will win the Super Bowl this year, but they'll never win another one ever again, no deal. No, I want more than one.
Really?
100%. I want more Super Bowls, Raff. Not one. I want more. I'm not taking a deal on that. That's so boring.
But it's been pretty dry since the '85 Bears.
But after the season, like, what's the point of watching the team anymore?
Well, I've still enjoyed watching Nebraska football, some of the time, most of the time. And
but Broncos, the final end result is they're never going to win again.
But that's the deal. I mean, I would have taken, if they would have said, hey, John Elway is going to win a Super Bowl. However, the Broncos will not win another Super Bowl. I would have took the deal, just for the fact that for 15 years I'd sat and watched the Broncos not win a Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden and I guess that's where I was kind of at with Coach Osborne. You were going into his what would have been 94, 73, so his 21st year of coaching. And yeah, if they would have came up to me and said, Coach Osborne gets one national championship, but no more titles the rest of your life, I would have took that deal.
I guess that seems wild to me. Maybe a lot of people would take that deal, but that just seems.
Listeners, text in. Let us know. Would you have taken that deal? Or how about now? So since you weren't alive when Nebraska won a national championship, so if somebody walked up to you now and said, Nebraska will win another football national championship in the next 10 years. However, they will not win it again. You don't know in those next 10 years when it might happen, but they will win one in the next 10 years. But they'll never win one the rest of your life. Would you take that deal?
No deal. No.
Really?
I don't ever want there to be a window where the ending is decided, because at that point, the whole point of sports is I don't know. So if I know what the end result's going to be, maybe I don't know what the final regular score is going to be or the end of the regular season record is going to be. But man, that just gives me 10 years to watch Husker football. Worst case scenario, it's like year one that they go and win it. I'm like, boy. All right, well, I had 10 years to have a little bit of mystery, and I only got one, and now I'm just no rhyme or reason to ever watch the team. Maybe it's a good deal. Maybe I should take it because I could move on to other things in life that's not sports and find more healthy hobbies that don't hinge on how well a group of grown men do playing a sport or a group of college guys do. But yeah, no deal. Never in my lifetime would I want to take that.
Yeah. I don't know.
You
Yeah.
need patience, Raff. You need to practice patience.
I was in desperate measures because you remember Denver had lost 3 Super Bowls. They'd lost to the Redskins, they lost to the Giants, they lost to the 49ers. And now you're going down to the end of John Elway's career, and people are saying if John Elway doesn't win a Super Bowl, he might not be considered one of the all-time greats. So yes, if that deal would have been offered to me back in 97, I would have took the deal and said, yes, I will take John Elway's Super Bowl, and Denver will go on hopefully I live another 70 years or whatever. But I might have made that same deal for Nebraska. But like I said, they came back and won 2 more after I made that deal. So I don't know, but
that's exactly it. If the deal would have went through, you would have completely ruined the legacy and the history that Nebraska football is.
Well, maybe I did. Maybe it was just a bonus 2 more after the first one. I'm not sure. So I hope it's not that. I hope I don't hold the future of Nebraska football in my fate. So I don't think I do, but I'll say sometimes it does cross my mind. I'm like, man, maybe the right people were listening when I made that deal. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. I'll tell you what, if it turns out to be that way, you got a lot to answer for. It's just been a lot of crime and pain and misery here on these airwaves as we've gone through some of these post games. But on the bright side, we don't even have to worry about football right now. We can always talk about it. We can talk about the expectations and what we want to grade the last season or the coaches that we brought in. But right now, Raff, baseball is on an absolute tear. They beat Wichita State again today very easily. Softball, we know what they're doing. Wrestling, full lineup, first time since 2019-20 down there in Cleveland for the wrestling championships. Basketball, we're waiting for tomorrow. And the women, shout out the women, they won tonight versus Richmond and their first 4. So their season stays alive. Track and field, Alexis Johansson, obviously, what she's been, there's a lot of great things going on in Husker land. So that's the beauty of football. Well, not the beauty of football, but the positive with football not maybe being elite right now is we got a lot of other sports that are doing great, that are having a lot of success, that are a lot more pleasant to talk about.
And I think that'll be a good thing for football. Like seeing all these other sports being successful. Like what do they say? A rising tide lifts all boats. So I'm thinking that this will be a good thing for Nebraska football because I at this period of time, Nebraska athletics, like you said, they're on a roll. It seems like every time Nebraska plays, it's a pretty good chance that they're going to be on the winning side of it. Doesn't matter which sport it is, maybe other than football, but all the other sports, for the most part, anytime they take the field or the court or the mat, there's a pretty good chance that Nebraska is going to come out victorious. And so I think that bodes well for, I think, the Nebraska football team because they're going to want to join that party. So we'll
I wonder what the least performing sports are here at the University of Nebraska. Honestly, because it seems obvious, but I haven't really spent that much time to think about it. You even go look at men's gymnastics. I think they're number 3 in the country. They might have dropped down or moved up. I can't remember. And then the women have had some good success in gymnastics. The rifle team that people aren't fans. It's a niche sport. I get it, but they're awesome, excellent. Bowling. Is it football?
I would say, oh gosh, I'm not going to comment. There's probably a couple,
okay, fair enough.
That we're not thinking, or I am thinking, but I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah, okay, that's probably smart. Yeah, but I don't want to disparage anyone. So,
but I think it's really a good sign. You look at Nebraska down at Wichita State. Wichita State, their offense has, been going pretty wild to begin the year, and Nebraska went in and shut their offense down completely. So you love seeing that. Then you see the Nebraska basketball team tonight. The Amy Williams pregame speech, fiery. Nebraska comes out. They play good basketball throughout the first half, and then they kind of let up at the end of the first half. They cut it to 2. You're thinking to yourself, "Oh, is this one of those Nebraska games where they got the lead and then they let it go?" They come out in the second half on fire, pull away, and you see that confidence in the Nebraska basketball team. I think that they believe. I think they're there for maybe a game or two more. I think they definitely packed for the long week is what I'm thinking, just by the fire they're playing with, the fire from the coach. And like she kept on saying, they're battle tested. They've played the nation's elite. They might not have got the victories, but they know what that top tier of basketball feels like. So I think that's going to help them as they, go along to, so they got, what is it? Baylor, I believe, or no. Yes.
Might be. Let me double check here. Let me pull up the women's bracket as well.
For some reason, I have Baylor going through my head, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's Baylor. You were right.
Yeah. So now they got Baylor, which I think it's a gettable game for them. It was 6 versus 11, I believe, it would be the matchup.
6 versus 11. Baylor, not the Boiler makers of Purdue, but the Baylor Bears. 21 ranked overall team. 24-8 is their record. Notable wins. First game of the season over number 7 Duke. First game, maybe take it with a grain of salt. They would lose to ranked Iowa. They would lose to number 2 Texas and beat number 10 Iowa State, lose to 22 West Virginia, lose to 17 TCU, lose to 20 Texas Tech, lose to 11 TCU, and a tough loss to Colorado mixed in there as well. A kind of similar, little bit of an ending to the season that Nebraska basketball suffered, where good team, when they're getting their ranked matchups, they fell through. Now, to their credit, they do have a couple big wins over ranked opponents, versus Duke being that real big one for them early in the season, and then another one sprinkled in there. But also you got some losses versus, a team like West Virginia, who was 22 ranked at the time, where it feels like, okay, that's a gettable game versus a ranked opponent that if we want to belong, we should go get them. But they unfortunately weren't able to pull it off. So still very, very good team, had more success than Nebraska did when playing those opponents, but a little bit of the same problem where if they wanted a higher seed, they needed to they didn't fall apart, but they picked up a few losses at the end of the year that they needed to win if they wanted to bolster their seed. So it's not a world beater. It's not a team that I think Nebraska has to go be terrified to play. Good team. It's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's Nebraska's going to really have to be playing 100% grade A basketball, although they have no shot. I think there's an opportunity that as long as Nebraska plays good, doesn't make a ton of mistakes, this should be a good game.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is out there for Nebraska. It's not one of those like, well, if they get lucky, maybe they can win. This is definitely a game. I think it's a winnable ball game for Nebraska. And I think they played good basketball tonight. And key thing is the shots dropping. I mean, you got Prince and Hakey that they were both on fire tonight. Hopefully they can keep that shooting touch going there at Cameron Indoor Arena in Durham, North Carolina. So hopefully they can keep it up. So they'll get 2 days of rest now, and then they play again.
Yeah, I believe it's only a 2-day rest there. So it's going to be on 20th. Yeah, 2 days.
Okay, so so rest and then they play. So
kind of technically really just a day, but
yeah, so they'll be good. They'll be good to go. So I look for Nebraska maybe to make some noise there in that girls tournament. And then you got the guys tonight going to bed tonight. Nebraska fans have been waiting. I feel like since they've been 20-0, Nebraska's just been counting down for the NCAA tournament to get here. And now they at the end of the day, I feel like that has been the mission for the team, the state, is to get the NCAA tournament and get some victories in the NCAA tournament. So come tomorrow, it's going to be like Christmas morning. I think you'll have early break down there, starting to get the presents opened, and then come 11:40 tomorrow morning, game on. Nebraska finally gets it, going to have another shot at that all encompassing chance to win a NCAA basketball tournament game. So history could change tomorrow. Were there any deals made tonight? I don't know. Maybe there were. I don't know.
Oh yeah. If they win the national championship, Raff, I'm gonna have a serious phone call with you and ask what the hell did you just do if they pull that off.
Well, okay, how about that? Would you, if they came up to you
No.
and said Nebraska wins a national championship this year, but will never win another you would not take that?
No.
Really?
This one's closer than all of the other ones because winning March Madness is so hard to do. Even if you're a really good basketball program.
Exactly.
It's
So they're saying you have that one time.
I know, but come on. I mean, again, think of the children, Raff, not just myself.
I'm telling you right now, if someone came up to me tonight and said, "Hey, Raff, Nebraska's going to win the national championship, but they're never going to win another one during your lifetime," I'm saying, where do I sign? Where do I sign?
I don't know. There's something so depressing about when it ends. I don't like endings, Raff, and that is a clear ending if you give me that script. So
where do I sign?
Let's see. Let's get Crowbait on the text line. Talking about how tomorrow and how big of a day it is for Nebraska and how all eyes have just kind of been looking forward to March since Nebraska got 20 minutes. It says tomorrow really does feel like an up and coming holiday, Raff. I thought of that today. So Crowbait's with you. And I feel
like that's the way Nebraska, I know the team never felt that way. They were trying to win, but I've just felt like even going to the Big Ten tournament. I mean, yes, it would have been nice to win a game or two or win the Big Ten championship. But I'm sitting there in my mind thinking to myself, if they win the Big Ten championship and they go and lay an egg the first round of the NCAA, it's just going to be, here we go again. And people are going to be like, well, they won the Big Ten championship. But it's the same thing, looking back, almost 30 years ago when they won the Big 8 championship. They won the Big 8 championship, but lost the first round of the NCAA tournament. I mean, the one thing that is there for Nebraska basketball that has not been accomplished is win an NCAA basketball tournament game. And since we reeled off those 20 straight or whatever it ended up being with the prior year, all eyes have looked at tomorrow. And tomorrow is like Christmas morning, that now they have a chance. They can unwrap that present and finally, get that monkey off their back. I mean, it's a huge day. I mean, I've adjusted my entire day for it. Coach Hoiberg sent out that letter. I sent it to my boss. My boss said, "Oh, right, you're taking off at 11 tomorrow so I can watch the game." So I want to thank my boss. Thank you, boss.
I did he understand how big of a deal it was?
Oh, he definitely understood how big of a deal it was.
Okay. Because there's a lot behind, especially with Nebraska.
And I have my own boss, so.
What's that?
And I am my own boss, so that made it easier too.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking you're clocking in at 9 to 5. Of course, yeah. Of course your boss would be cool with it. You are the boss, Raff. My memory betrayed me right there. Yeah, so I'll enjoy it tomorrow. I don't work in the morning, so I'm going to get all nice and cozy, and it is going to be like Christmas. Find out if we get cold or if we get some awesome gifts. And I feel good about this. And there's a few reasons for it, and I do want to maybe get into that on the second segment here. But what team do you feel like we're going to see is kind of the question.
I think we're going to see that team that where they're the doubted team, where people are beginning to doubt them a little bit. And I think you're going to see a team with maybe that chip on their shoulder, that you can't believe you're doubting us. We're better than what you think we are. And I think that's the team you're going to get. It worked out perfectly, I think, for Nebraska, just where those doubters are starting to come out of the weeds a little bit and be like, oh, Nebraska's 6-6 their last 12. Maybe that was a fluke the way they started and they hear that. And I think that's what builds that fire. So I think it worked out, I think, perfectly for Nebraska for the tournament to get here where it did, because, people are like, well, they got beat down by UCLA and they got beat by, why am I forgetting the team? Purdue, and it's like, I'm sitting there watching those games. It's like, yeah, we got beat, but a lot of those games were self-inflicted by Nebraska. You've got to make, if they make 3 extra 3-point shots, they're in both of those games, but their shooting betrayed them a little bit. So I think when you have those doubt, I think Nebraska can play with almost anybody in the country. Now it's just a matter of, now you got to build that fire again and get that doubt again. That was at the beginning of the year, that when Nebraska had reeled off those victories and we couldn't even get any points or what do they call it? Any ballots or votes in the top 25 polls, because it's like, well, it's Nebraska, you know, and I like that, well, it's Nebraska, because I love the way this team looks at it. It's like, okay, well, we're going to prove you wrong. And you got the catalyst, Sam Hoiberg. He's one of the main, I mean, he's been proving people wrong for the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm excited for tomorrow, and I hope they come out with that attitude of, okay, you're doubting us. That's fine. We're going to play our game, and we're going to make some noise. And I see Nebraska making some noise. I have no like there's not that thought in my head thinking to myself, well, they can't be a Sweet 16 team, or they have the potential. It's just a matter, they've got to make their shots, and they've got to take care of the ball and play Nebraska basketball. They'll be just fine.
100%. That's kind of where I'm at with this team. And, you know, I think they're set up to have a good mentality going into it. The example that I've been using today, and sorry if you've heard it already, but we're streaming only, each stream's separate. So I doubt anyone's been listening since, well, maybe we have some really good ticket listeners. Maybe you have been listening since 3 p.m. And if so, appreciate you listening, and you'll have to hear this point one more time. But what I expect to see out of Nebraska, and what I hope to see, is when you watch Keisei Tamanaga play when we did last year, that's almost the kind of energy I want. You know, I'm not saying you got to do the celebration where you put the hands, you know, and go crazy when you make a three, but go have fun. Like, I think there has to be some of that looseness to them, not a looseness that says we can just walk in here and win. These guys stink. We'll just chuck some shots up and they'll hopefully go in, but go out there with a purpose, but also go have fun. Enjoy the moment. Don't get too tight until concerned about, oh man, 0-8 is the history of Nebraska in the tournament. We don't want to be the team that makes it 0-9. You know, man, we lost 6 of the last 12. I just want them to go out there, have fun, enjoy the moment, and play with a little bit of that edge. But at the same time, take a chapter out of Keisei Tamanaga. Worked out pretty well for him. When you're out there and you're loose and you're having a good time, typically the shots fall a little easier, as opposed to being too tight, thinking too much, being too scared of the moment. And I know Jamarcus Lawrence talked about the lights being quote unquote too bright. I think this is we'll see a team that's a little bit more veteran leadership. There'll be intensity, but I think, you know, they'll see a little bit of that mindset of the guys just go enjoy the moment and go win. Winning's fun. And, you know, Samford, if that means letting out, you know, holding the three, whatever it is, I want to see them have that kind of calmness and looseness to them while still being locked in and being serious on the defensive end, of course, and everything that goes along with that.
And also, too, it's going to be like Pinnacle Bay South down there. So you're going to have a big, strong Nebraska contingent down there. And I think that'll go a long way. And, you know, with them, you know, being more loose, being around that home crowd atmosphere, I go back again. I really think that they're going to have that to the doubters out there. They have something to prove, but I also think that they have the confidence. I think that I know there's not a ton of players from 2 years ago when they played in Memphis, but they kind of, you know, got their feet wet a little bit in that tournament style. So I think come tomorrow, I think Nebraska will be ready to play. I think they show up. I think they get the victory. I was listening to the I forgot which show he was on. It was early break. It was early break where they had the Troy beat reporter talking about how Troy prides itself on being a tough team. Well, I don't think Nebraska takes a step back to anybody when it comes to being a tough team. You got, you know, Mr. Glue guy, you know, Sam Hoiberg. You've got people that I think they gritty gutty. I mean, that's Nebraska basketball. So I want to see Nebraska match up with these guys. And I want Nebraska to show them for once, like, we're a Big Ten team. You guys are a Sun Belt team. You're going to find out why we're a Big Ten team tomorrow.
100%. I'm excited for it. Do we storm the court if we beat Troy, Raff?
No.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we will. It might be the most ludicrous thing ever. But tell you what, I there's some fans that would want to, just because it's like, oh, it is finally get that off the chest. Raff, I mean, final question. How many times will we see Nebraska is the only Power 4 team to not win a March Madness game graphic tomorrow?
Well, I think I've already seen it about 6 or 7 times. We'll get talk of it in pregame, talk of it during, talk of it. Oh yeah, you'll probably see it 4 or 5 times easily.
I'm gonna go with that. I was putting the over under at like 5.5 is what I was thinking. But let's win so we never have to look at that stupid graphic again. I get why they put it out here. Us locally, we're sick and tired of it. People watching that maybe aren't familiar with Nebraska will see that and be like, oh, really? That's neat. It is a neat stat if you're not a Nebraska fan. If you're a Nebraska fan, it's humiliating, and I would love for that thing to go away. So an opportunity to do that, and that is a big enough reason to celebrate what it could be one of the most historic basketball teams at Nebraska of all time. Don't go anywhere. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter. $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Husker fans, baseball is back in Lincoln, and it's time to get your tickets to Nebraska baseball. Catch great matchups all season long as the Huskers take on some of the top teams in the Big Ten, including Indiana, USC, and Iowa. Plus, don't miss midweek action against in-state rival Creighton and regional matchups with Kansas and Kansas State. Bring the whole family. General admission tickets start at just $10 or grab reserved seats for $15. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action this season. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Asset Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Asset Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge. with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You guys are always welcome to join in. Sutter Heyman text line open as well as the streams. And appreciate you guys that found streams that are listening. So we still got basketball in the brick and mortar, probably all the way up until 11 o'clock, most likely. So with that being said, house cleaning out of the way. Segment 2, potentially segment 2, 3 combined, because we have a habit of going over the clock. Chris Raff.
We like to talk. We're talkers, Harrison. That's what we do. We talk.
I'd hope so. We'd suck at our job if we weren't. That is part of the title.
So did you see by chance the USA hockey team? Did you see that story?
I looked it up quickly because I saw you sent it in the notes. I was not aware of this.
So Jack Hughes, the USA team member who made the golden goal that gave the US the gold medal, he is wanting that puck. And I'm kind of torn a little bit. Like, I think if it was like an NHL game, yeah, I give him the puck. But being in the United States, a USA, and they have like I forgot the IHFF, the Hockey Federation.
Mm-hmm.
So they get the puck, and then the puck is donated to the Hall of Fame, and then it's on display. So do you think that he should get that puck, or do you think it's right that the Hockey Hall of Fame is saying, or the IHFF is saying, hey, that's ours. It's not necessarily yours. We're going to keep it and put it on display in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think, what is it? What's the abbreviation for the Hall of Fame? I
think it's the IHFF, International Hockey. They're the ones that give the puck to the Hall of Fame for them to display it.
Well, I'm siding with those guys.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, if you give Hughes the puck, like, then you run into the situation every year. It's like, well, who gets the puck? You know, is it the guy who scored the winning goals? Is it the guy who had this clutch play? You know, at this point in time, just the Hall of Fame. You know, you'll be remembered forever in the Hall of Fame, even if it's not with your own personal belongings. People remember the name Jack Hughes forever, even if they don't see the puck, and if they do really want to go see it, they can. I just think you open up a can of worms if you start giving the puck out.
Well, that's what I was starting to think too. Is like, why does he want it? Because you know that the Hall of Fame's going to display it. Your name's going to be on it. Your picture is going to be above that puck. And my thought is, does he want it because he wants to sell it? Because you know that would bring in an awful lot of money on the collector's circuit. So I was like, being that he was upset about it, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But then again, it's like, well, maybe he just wants it for his own personal collection when people come over and be like, hey, this is the puck that I scored, you know, the game-winning goal against. But then I'm like sitting there, I'm like, but then if it's in the Hall of Fame, like you said, you're going to have that for the rest of time. And anybody that goes in there, your name's going to be associated with hockey and that goal. So yeah, I saw that story. It kind of enamored me a little bit that he was that upset about the IHFF not giving him the puck back.
It's surprising he'd want it. Again, I mean, I get it, but totally cool with the Hall of Fame happening. It's interesting. I wonder if he just wants a little bit of cool gear, because I don't know if you saw the goalkeeper that also got just the clutch, incredible save on his hockey stick. Like you can literally see the full outline of the puck where it smacked and where he saved it. And he was on a podcast and he's like, he showed it live. He's like, you'll never believe this. And he shows it right there. But even the guy's response is like, save that. Don't smear, like, not verbatim, but they basically said, like, send that to the Hall of Fame. Like, and then, so I'm surprised by that.
Then also, too, he wants the puck, but he has his stick. I mean, wouldn't the stick be just as valuable as the puck, since the stick is what swatted that puck into the goal in the first place? I think that having the stick would be plenty, but because I think you could, if selling it is something that he would want to do in the future, I think that stick would bring in just as much as what a puck would bring in, being that it was associated with the game-winning goal. But maybe he just wants the whole enchilada.
I'm assuming it's the whole enchilada. You know, like the stick's great and all that, but yeah, maybe he's just the guy that really likes his mementos, and that's one of them he really wants to have. I mean, what's that show called? I can't remember. There's that collector show. I mean, people,
the Golden Touch. I love that show.
Yeah, I do too. It's a great show. But some people just love that stuff. Even like athletes love that stuff. Jack Hughes might just be one of those guys. Like, listen, I know it's not the norm, but I'm a fanatic when it comes to this stuff, and I really like collecting, you know, all my merch and iconic moments. And he might have a closet where he's got like all this cool gear. I have no idea. But it does stick out a little bit. But like I said, he could just be a guy who like really enjoys collecting his own mementos, or has a legit collection, and he knows that'd be like the chest, like the king, the queen piece, you know, the very best.
Yep. No, I'm with you. And then you know, I kind of sent in the potpourri on the schedule tonight. Oh my goodness, the National Football League, are they about to do what they never should have done in the first place again? When I read that tonight, I was befuddled. So, dear listeners, the National Football League is preparing to possibly have replacement referees if the referees in the NFL do not come to a collective bargaining agreement. So we could have replacement referees again next year. What in the world are they thinking? Oh, I'm sorry. You saw how horrendous it was the first time, and that they would even have plans to possibly do that again is the biggest injustice to all football fans, players, teams, anybody. It's like you gotta come to an agreement with the referees.
Where's the disagreement coming from within that?
It's a CBA. They're trying, so the referees are probably trying to get more money, probably trying to become full-time, probably trying to get insurance benefit. So they're trying. I mean, referees, they see how much these players are making and the management's making and the owners are making. So the referees, and they deserve a piece of it. Now, 100%. Coming to an agreement of what kind of piece they should get, that is what could possibly cause a potential lockout of the referees, to where the NFL would have to turn to replacement referees again. And I read that, I was just like, oh wow. I was like, I thought after the craziness that happened the first time, that there would probably never be replacement referees ever used again in an NFL game. And then here I see that the NFL is taking measures to possibly have replacement referees if a lockout happens between them and the referees. So
what happened first? What year was the first time? Not what happened. What year?
Oh, was it like 2000? Was it 2012? That might be too long ago. I just keep on thinking about the Hail Mary in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right. I'll have to look it up when I got a break.
Yeah, but I saw that tonight and I was just like, wow. I was like, replacement referees are not good. Yep, 2012, September 24th, 2012, the Hail Mary. Look at that memory. NFL Guru is back. I totally redeemed myself.
I'll tell you what, this is a disaster in the making if it gets this far.
Oh, totally.
You can't do this. You're the NFL, for crying out loud, Raff. We talk about this every time. Figure it out. It's such an important part of the game. I don't know how this always kind of is like, And these are the people, they just officiate the games that we make billions of dollars off of. They're not really integral to the whole process. So part-time, no benefits, no insurance, not a full-time gig, but you're very important and you control a lot of the results of these billion-dollar teams. It was like, it makes zero sense in the world to have that always be like one of the later pieces of loose ends to tie up. Figure that out immediately.
When you have these billion-dollar industries, how you don't have, full-time employees as your referees, it's always a head scratcher to me. Like, I mean, look at Clete Blakeman. I mean, like, here he is working in Omaha during the week, and then he flies out, probably on Friday or Saturday, refs the game, and then it's back at work on Monday. It's like, I've never understood that. I mean, this is a billion dollar industry. It's like, why wouldn't you want the best of the best? Make them full-time employees. I'm
trying to think of analogies for it. It's so, idiotic. Hopefully I'm just not aware enough of the details as to why this is a thing. Maybe the officials are asking like way too much, but I kind of doubt it can be that much.
Well, I'm sure they're asking a little bit more than what in most, when you try to come to the bargaining table, I'm guessing they're asking for more than what they're expecting, but you always got to kind of shoot the moon a little bit and hope for.
Well, that's why you negotiate, though, not threaten with replacement refs. You go, hey, listen, too much. We're not going to do that, but you're right. We should make you guys full time. We'll start there. Next time this comes around, maybe we can talk about the other things you wanted based on how it goes. I'm not a negotiator, but I know if my first move is to threaten about the use of, we might go with replacement referees, that means you're not even going to the table. You're just putting out threats, hoping that they change what feels like speculation again. It just feels like you're hoping that they say, well, you know what? Deal's good. We'll actually keep doing it. I don't like this angle at all.
Well, I think the NFL is just, they're just coming from that. If we're unable to, come to that agreement, we'll have replacement referees in the wings to take over. But then just what a failure it was in 2012. You're setting your replacement referees up to fail. And then, it's collective bargaining agreements in the NFL. They never do really go that well. We haven't had a strike here for a while in the NFL, thankfully, but we saw them, in the 80s, 82, 87. So hopefully it doesn't, get back to that, but it's like, you have such a great product. It's like, don't you want the best of the best? And then I think they've got to find some. I mean, I would not be mad one bit if you made NFL referees full-time employees. I think they're deserving of it. Just the money. It's like, why try to, get out on the cheap, reward these referees. And if they, so I hope it doesn't come to that, because man, that is the worst.
Well, you want to make it a lucrative gig too. Like, again, we talk about the officiating problem all the time. One way to fix that, make it a more lucrative gig, make it something that you can strive to make a real career out of. Right now, there is nothing really like that you can make it a full-time thing where I'm an official, even at the highest level, it's part-time. That's where you need like kind of a sports cultural change where the officiating is a bigger part of the equation. I can't think of analogies. You know me, Raff. I love trying to find analogies to fit the.
I know what you're trying to think of, and I'm trying to think the same thing, like what it would be comparable to. But
the best
I know what
I
you're
can
going
do
there
is like if you're, I don't know, if you need security for a bank, but your security's part time. Maybe the best makes no sense in the world about just like having those guys be part time. Like you need them fully locked in, committed. Part time, like I guess it just feels off to me. So maybe a bad example. I've had much better analogies, I promise, but this is how bad this one is. I don't know if there's one that we can't figure it out.
Well, like my thing is like this. Like you look at like Roger Goodell. What's he make, like $40-50 million a year? Mm-hmm. And it's because he's running, the NFL, one of the, an insanely juggernaut, huge company. So it's like, you can't find some of that money to go to trickle down to your referees who, basically control the game in their hands. Like my thought process is make them happy. So then they're not for it, because you hear about the dark side of sports a lot. You don't want your referees out there, well, I could, fix this game you don't want them looking for money elsewhere is what I'm saying. So it's like, keep your referees happy, make them full-time employees, get them as much as you can. And like you said, it'll make the game better, because if you have these referees that are full-time employees that are, going to camps and, taking classes and they make it like into a full-fledged employment, I think you'll probably see better refereeing.
100%. And it's not like it'd be, how do you make this thing a full year gig? Really easy. There's so much stuff going on through the year. You can get these refs officiating games, all over, even if you got to pay to fly them out. Again, you guys have the money. Make sure they're well trained, ready to go for the beginning of the year, because no one wants to see the Saints get robbed in a crucial playoff game that robbed Drew Brees of a chance of getting his Super Bowl with a horrible non-pass interference. I mean, stuff like that drives people up a wall. The replacement refs, I'm surprised they don't just go with AI refs at this point. If they're really thinking that, I wouldn't be surprised if they announced
great,
we're just going to go with AI officiating now, because that's cheaper and it's the future and it's perfect, and it'll inevitably be not perfect yet and have a lot of issues. But I don't know. The NFL likes to run into these issues, especially with these collective bargaining agreements. So going to be interesting. Hopefully it gets solved, because you and me, along with a lot of NFL fans, I'd imagine, do not want to see the replacement refs out there.
Nope, not me. Once I saw that, I kind of had to like rub my eyes and reread it again, because I was just like, are they really talking about replacement refs? I'm like, that's got to be the end all be all worst possible scenario. It's like, you do not want replacement refs. I mean, visions of the film area are running through our heads. It's like, we don't want that again. No. So hopefully the collective bargaining agreement can be reached and they can get things settled, and we'd never have to hear replacement refs ever again, or at least not for another 10 or 15 years or 5 years.
Here's a question for you. When it comes to officiating, is officiating worse than it's ever been? Was there an era that you remembered officiating being really good, or has this been the same conversation for years? Decade.
I'm going to go probably same conversation for years.
Okay.
But I think what has happened though is the judgmental parts of the game have changed. Like, I think what has made refereeing harder the past like 10 years, roughing the passer.
Pass interference calls are always
college football targeting.
Yep.
They've put judgmental calls in it, so you have a chance not to look as good as back in the good old days. A hit was a hit. It didn't matter where it was at. And it was like, okay, so that takes that off the plate right there. But now, not only are you watching for holding, encroachment, pass interference, you're also looking for, those judgmental calls. Like, was that a legal hit? Was that in the side? So some of the rules have become more intricate. Like, like below chop blocks, that used to be part of football back in the 80s. I remember that's all we used to do in the 80s. I used to hate playing defensive line, because it was like, oh man, I'm going to get chop blocked, or I'm going to get blindsided. I mean, that was just part of playing offensive line in the 80s, was you getting ear hold because you didn't see, a blindside block. I mean, that was just part of the game. So by making it safer, I think you put more things on the referee's plates, which makes it more chances of making mistakes.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that's definitely a lot of it. Because even if, you're watching it at home on TV, even if it was a horrible call, the chances of you really being able to see all the details on all those pixels, not high, especially if it's like, an out of bounds call that he was clearly out, but they ruled him in, or vice versa. Like, that stuff also, as like the TV viewer, I mean, we have high definition. We see this stuff in clear picture, slow motion.
That's another thing that's made televisions.
Yeah. I mean, we see slow-mo, and I mean, I don't think people understand these slow motion cameras. They're shooting thousands of frames a second. I mean, the technology behind it is crazy for how high definition is and how many can't, pictures it's taking and putting them in a video form for you. I mean, we get this stuff at such high resolution that it's unreal. And at the same time, if the refs, get it wrong, or if it is one of these judgment calls and we're all seeing it live in slow motion on TV and the ref goes another way, it adds to the fire, even if the ref might have had some real cause to go the way he did. So I think it's fair to ask, because I kind of got on a rant there with officials. I'm more upset with the NFL on this one. Figure it out. But I have ranted about officials, and I do think it's fair to give them a little bit of a break, because I think it has kind of been the same conversation for decades, and the refs today have a much bigger challenge than officials in the past. And again, that's why it makes zero sense to not negotiate with them and let's get this figured out. Hey, you guys might be onto something. Your job is pretty hard.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. I know we're getting low on time, but I was going to ask you, what do you think about instant replay and how long sometimes it takes? Like, I always thought when they said instant replay, it was clear and obvious. If it's clear and obvious by instant replay, you make the change. But I see some of these basketball games, they go the instant replay and they take like 2.5 minutes to make a decision on whether the ball, who the ball went out of bounds on. And it's like, I thought instant replay was supposed to be clear and obvious. So if I look at it first or twice, look at it once, look at it twice, okay, it went off on so-and-so. But when you're taking like 2.5 minutes and you're watching again and again and again and again, don't that take away from clear and obvious?
Yeah, I think maybe I think you run into problems with this, but maybe it's worth trying out. Like, put a time limit on it. There's the clock. If you can't come to any definitive answer, no change. Like, you spent X amount of time looking at it, you couldn't find anything, no change. Yeah. Keep playing the ball game. I think like that's an easy way to do it. Now the issue is if you have technical problems, they're still waiting for the frame. Okay, so maybe you put a rule in there. Once you get that first video feed, clock starts, and you got a minute or maybe 2 minutes. Just anything that's not extreme. You have to figure that out now. Otherwise, there's no reversing the call. And maybe the time expands for bigger games or not, but I don't think it's too crazy. Just put a hard flat limit on. If it takes longer than this, clearly there's no definitive answer where you could possibly reverse the call. So we're just rolling with it.
Yeah, see, that's what I've always been with instant replay. I always thought it had to be definitive, but now you watch instant replays and it's like, it's not really definitive, but it could be, but it could not be. So I'm thinking, okay, go with the decision on the field, but then they flip flop it. It's like, so sometimes we were down in a game, Kansas State, Oklahoma. This has probably been like, Jalen Hurts was there. So it's probably been 7-8 years ago.
Yep.
And they had an onside kick and they went to instant replay and we sat there for it was like 7.5 minutes for them to make a decision. And it was like, it's not definitive. So you got to stay with the call on the field. Now, yes, they ended up reversing it. They ended up giving Kansas State the ball. So they ended up winning the game. But for 7.5, Oklahoma thought they'd recovered the onside kick. For 7.5 minutes, they looked at it. Finally, they came back, and it was like, it's Kansas State ball. And then they ended up, winning the game, which I was fine with. It was the right call, which I thought it was. But it's like, why did you take 7.5 minutes to make that decision? It's like, it should have been, if you can't figure it out in 2 minutes, send it back. It's like, I just think there should be a time limit, because definitive and clear and obvious, that doesn't mean take 10 minutes to try and figure it out.
I think you're right. It makes total sense. Maybe someone can point out an issue with it, but Raff, you know why the answer is going to be no, right? Why would the NFL, NBA, or college with these TV broadcasts ever take away a chance to put in some more commercials there? They want to tell you about DoorDash, Uber Eats, and gambling. If they have 7-minute, review time, that's at least 3 minutes they can send you to break while they're figuring it out. So unfortunately, that is a lot of sports now. I don't think they'll ever make that change and put a limit on it, because I don't think they personally care if the games take a little bit longer and then they have to put more ads in there to fill time. So
true.
Unfortunately, that's my 2 cents on it. I would like to see it change. I don't think we ever will, at least not for a while. But that's going to wrap it up for us. Oh, Raff, sorry, quickly. Good take. What's your good take?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's good take, it actually is a tribute to the No Coast Roller Derby girls. They lost one of their teammates, LaDonna Craig. She was known as Storm. She'd played for 15 years. They lost her in a car accident. And I just wanted to send all of our thoughts, all of our prayers. We're a big roller derby house. We love everything about it, way they promote in the community. So all my thoughts, all my prayers go out to LaDonna Craig, the roller derby family, and everyone out there. You guys are Raff's Good Take.
Okay, I'm glad I got you that because, more than well deserved. Absolutely, thoughts and prayers for her and everyone associated with it. Definitely keep that in mind. But Raff, appreciate it as always. This has been Raff's Good Take on sports. Good morning, Pierce Snell coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.